Right, welcome back. You'll probably notice something's different. We're not where we left off. So, it turns out if you put your PlayStation into standby mode, which is what you need to do if the game doesn't save, if there's an update for the game, as you saw it, as I mentioned last time, it had downloaded an update, but it couldn't install the update because the game was currently in use. Your PlayStation conveniently thinks, well, while we're in standby mode and the game's just suspended, we can update it. Not realising, because this is the only game that does it, that what it's done there is delete your save. There is good news though. My theory that this is a new start here, a new starting point midway through, seems to be correct. Yet again, we've got this dilapidated engine, we've got this broken ship, it's all covered in moss, this is from the end of Nemesis. We've only lost 20 minutes of progress here. And if you look in the bottom left, we start at level 15 proficiency. Also, we can have a look at this terminal in the ship, see what it said we've got a new challenge here. And some new ship logs. We have a lot of ship logs. Selene Vassas, we are glad you left. Worthless irritant. As a grave, scout ship failure, Helios, unsurprising, waste of time, effort, finances. Stay there, we will not return, wallowing the immediate and permanent, whereas continuing to laughably, despite uselessness, willful and blatant evidence of immature, unprofessional. EMC2 is a meaningless lie dragging me into the depths. Right. Safety lapses, blocks, conduct unauthorized. I think we've seen this one before. But yes, conduct unauthorized missions within dangerous parameters to ensure maximum chance of brainstem destruction. Maintain blocked communication. Maintain constant blocks with team or handler immediately prior to an unauthorized mission until it's fail objectives despite the best attempts possible. Alerting unauthorized mission plans is unnecessarily due to conditions in the field. And then we've got scout regulations. So Astra Protocol scout regulations. Seek out and embrace dangers. Reject safe areas and resources. Die as needed. Die at any cost or ensure successful repeated trauma. No retrieval. Has this changed since last time? In times of crisis, evac protocol is no longer an option, and all other protocol and regulations currently in effect regardless of mission status or overseer directives are no longer applicable, as Astra does not yet exist. Yeah, this has changed, hasn't it? This is all no employee found. EMC2 left me alone in the dark. Warning, no longer an option. Astra does not yet exist. No one knows you are here. Giving in to madness is a manual choice after assessment of a situation results in the following conclusions. Your mind is in danger. The minds of your imaginary companions are in danger and you are unable to adequately assist. You are stranded without psychological means of return to reality. In rare circumstances, your onboard ship medical unit will trigger an induced coma. This can either be due to its own analysis of the situation or as a directive from Astra Scout suit. Cannot be worn virtually. Oh, can be worn can be worn virtually ad infinitum. So we can just wear it forever. You will not be recovered. Abandon me to the void. Have you taken your medication yet? No, why not? My concern is primarily team focused. It seems to be the more qualified scouts with the usage clearance that we have, the larger the pool of proficiency we can draw upon when it's ready for standard deployment. You aren't making any sense right now. I'm very concerned. You repeatedly reach out to me, but when I ask if you have taken your medication, you start talking about things that aren't real. It upsets me that this does not upset you. I do not want to sever connection, but if you aren't willing to sever connection, I'm afraid I really have no alternative except to sever connection. Sever. Connection severed. Through me is the way to the city of woe. Through me is the way to sorrow eternal. Through me is the way to the lost below. Justice moved my architect supernal. Okay. I was constructed by divine power, supreme wisdom, and love primordial. Before me no created things were, save those eternal, and eternal I abide. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Oh, it's from Dante. I think if you don't know Dante, it's a story about man's journey into the seven rings of hell, trying to wash away his sins. It's like a old poem. As of this moment, Selene has crossed the final boundary. What new horizons will she discover and surpass during her exodus to the edge of? All she can know is that this marks the point of no return and her commitment to the spirit of anew. And all these things have been omitted or lost in translation. What follows is petty jingoism, which will be replaced with an explanation of what used to be inserted at this specific location, followed by an appropriate amount of blank space to make up the difference that exists in the mind of the reader, which may or may not accurately reflect unverifiable objective reality, unless any abrupt stops occur during the transportation of Astra Command. Will never remember me, has nothing left. Okay. Oh, another long one. Fate has ordained that the men who went to the moon to explore in peace will stay on the moon to rest in peace. These brave men know that there is no hope for their recovery, but they also know that there is no hope for mankind in their sacrifice. These two men are laying down their lives in mankind's most noble goal, the search for truth and understanding. They will be mourned by their families and friends, they will be mourned by their nation, they will be mourned by the people of the world, they will be mourned by a Mother Earth that dared send two of her sons into the unknown. In their exploration they stirred the people of the world to feel as one. In their sacrifice they bind more tightly the brotherhood of man. In ancient days, men looked at the stars and saw their heroes in the constellation. In modern times, we much do the same, but the heroes of epic men of flesh and blood. Others will follow and surely find their way home. Man's search will not be denied, but these men were the first, and they will remain at the foremost in our hearts. For every human being who looks up at the moon in the nights to come will know that there is some corner of another world that is forever mankind. After President's statement at the point when NASA ends communications with the men. A clergyman should adopt the same procedure as a burial at sea, commending their souls to the deepest of the deep, concluding with the Lord's Prayer. And in those days the moon shuddered at every spasm of sorrow that dripped from the eyes of Selene. For every insect that burrowed into their corpse, for every miscarried egg that was laid inside her wounds, for every maggot that did not erupt to fester on her rotten flesh, the very heavens would shake, for the punishments of the gods are honourable, and they are all honourable gods. Most mortals, they, unknowing, what should they? Prometheus had gifted them with passion, to light their own self-directed paths. Who was this hated daughter who dared interrupt festivities? The punishments of the gods are honourable, and they are all honourable gods. Yet who is this blameless child, come to free her? Who is the boy bound like Prometheus? Who is the boy who is weighed down by an oceanic world? This is, and Hercules will refuse to save her, with a few gaps and corruptions in there. I think it's all various quotes from things from like Greek mythos and such. I imagine there's probably...
You remain exactly as I left you. Is it meaningless to apologize?
I imagine that there's someone very pretentious who's a bit of a classicist over at their studios, who's gone into great depths putting all this together, and the references, apart from like the Dante ones, rather going over my head. I'm sure there's some kind of greater, deep artistic meaning that I'm probably missing here, but I'm fine. So we unlocked a challenge tier last time, and seeing as we're back now, I suppose I may as well have a look. Daily challenges. And we've got leaderboards there. Game 5 ether for completing. Plasma rounds, portal beam, shrapnel on the vertical barrage. I'm alright, thanks, actually. No, we're not doing a daily. I want to complete the main game. Is this just suits? Yes. So I don't know what it means when it says I've got a new challenge tier unlocked, and we still can't go in this door or the other door in there. So I guess without further ado, I've probably been dawdling a bit already, but we'll see if we can get started here on our next run. I've looked at a few more tips online as well. I've looked at the next boss again, because I'm worried about going in unwittingly. I want to have at least a look at the patterns, because these run... I honestly thought that I would be going in today to, you know, hour, what's it, 5 now or something, into the run. And that, yes, I would be most likely fighting a boss and I did not want to lose. But knowing that we come back here now, that's not too bad. We will get a random item, I think that's fair enough. But enhances reflexes, slowing down perception of time, so we get time slowing effect. So I've looked up a few little tips online. That is a nasty enemy to be fighting out of the gate. I mean, we're gonna scumbag him, of course we are. They're just going to put an elite enemy right at the start. Absolutely unfair. So yes, of course we're going to cheese him. But supposedly, so I've looked up a few things. So number one, these resins. Resin, and so the resin that heals you and the resin that gives you max health are the same. I didn't know this. Apparently the difference is, if you take a heal when you are at full health, instead you get a health upgrade. So it's best to actually try and find other means of healing. Only heal when you absolutely must. And then try to use all of them for health upgrades. And that way you can make your health really chunky going into the end. So we'll be doing that. Another thing is, I've apparently been missing secret doors. Ooh. Full auto launcher with a tracking swarm and massive explosion radius and bonus damage. With enhanced proficiency. Why on earth would I say no? Another thing as well, proficiency. So as I said, so there's some walls, before I get onto that, there's walls that you can find that are sort of cracked with like bits of like red and metallic machinery behind them. If you shoot those, or melee attack them, you will find yourself able to gain access to a secret room, and they usually have data cubes. So these data cubes, then you can take them and obviously get a new item. Very beneficial, so we need to keep a lookout for that. I thought I'd already done a good job finding the like the statues with the golden eyes and things, but no, we've apparently been missing potentially some secret rooms. So that's just a few more tips, and another one I've found out is apparently your melee weapon, though it might not kill larger enemies, if you can get in there with your melee weapon, it inflicts staggering, and staggering will knock an enemy on their side or to the floor, and you just get 3 shots at them for a while. So it's actually quite beneficial if you can to sort of try to dash in, hit them with a melee attack to stagger, and then just lay into them. You can stagger them again when there's a orange bar underneath the health that fills up supposedly. That indicates you can stagger them again. I mentioned as well proficiency. So I mentioned proficiency as well as something we need to keep an eye on also. So at the moment we're on 15, we start at 15 now. But when we pick an item up, when we pick a weapon up, well, not when we pick one up, but when one spawns in, when a weapon spawns into the game, its proficiency, its maximum level will be based upon our current proficiency. We can get higher than our current proficiency, but it'd have to be quite a lucky roll, like almost like finding a rare or epic tier item in a game. Got 15 more ciphers to find as well in this area. Won't all necessarily be in this iteration though, so. But yeah, so we'll find that it only does it when they spawn in, is the thing. So if we, for example, leave them on the floor, yes, so leaving them on the floor, what that will actually do is potentially, good God, that's harsh. We've got a fair amount of oh, I probably shouldn't have gone back for those. Right. There are 3 health things here. We are critical, so we will have to take one of them. So that will be a small. That's small as well. Ooh. Appears moderate, but is infected with malignancy. Collect a parasite. but it's not currently affecting us that, so we'll see if we can find means of getting additional health. We might find an item at the shop. But yeah, so as I was mentioning, because the weapons aren't spawned in yet, they're in the chests, assuming that those chests drop weapons. If we leave them and come back when our proficiency has been raised, what we can actually do... oh, that's the second one. Lose all lights and suffering damage.
I can smell my corpses rotting. Some are watching me from high above. Others from pits. They refuse to speak with me except to say, "You are severing." What have I become?
I am not touching that. No siree. Absolutely not. Right, let's get a move on. But yeah, so... actually, yeah, we need to open... oh, we will have to open these chests. I don't want to have... that's a really nasty thing to have on. We'll just have to open some. Where is this on the map? Is it below? It's below, isn't it? Yeah, I think I see. It's around here, isn't it? And there's a... yes. So let's open. Right. He's using large chamber mega rocket. It's all on explosion radius with this one. Fires a more powerful but slower rocket instead of the normal salvo. Both sound hilarious. Full auto. Could you imagine full auto mega rockets? I mean, I will say the rocket launcher just seems to have really good, nice traits and abilities. So as you can see, there's the orange health bar below the enemies when we start staggering them. Ah, you sod. One got me after all that. Right. That'll probably get him. Not quite. So one advantage with turrets, they're pretty terrible as far as enemies go. I feel like this could just use that smidge more damage. It'd be much better if it had that. We are going to have to use some health. But like I say, if we try to use as few of these as we can start using the others as health upgrades then. I want to see if I can find maybe... so a good tactic is often to... That's annoying. I opened 2 containers and it gave me the same debuff, didn't it? I was hoping to either not get one or reroll it into something different. That's pretty good actually, that. But yeah, so as I mentioned again, if we just try at the moment to use as few health kits as possible in this current loop, then is this no. Maybe the tutorial I watched was wrong. Maybe they will always be. Or maybe some of them are just upgrades. But the health... We'll go back for those others if I manage to get full health at some point. And see if they become... Oh, we can't take that, not while we've got... Yes, we don't want to open containers yet. And presumably there should be nothing hidden from us now. We seem to have most of the permanent upgrades and things, so I don't think any areas will be locked away behind upgrades or things we've to find anymore. We should be able to just push through here. Right, this looks like a challenge and a half, doesn't it? Doesn't look too bad. Oh, these are sinking. And yeah, I got screwed. Okay. There is one though. There's that. Whatever that is. Great. So I'm very nearly dead. So this hasn't got off to a good start. I'm gonna have to go back for these health pickups here. Unfortunately, there's no other way around it. Otherwise, we run the risk of dying. Right, if I see that room again, act fast. No, we still can't open them. Right. Oh great, one of those with a shield now. Oh! It's fully auto now. We unlocked it. This just became a monster. Where are you? Yeah. It's powerful. I'll give it that. It's very, very powerful. Full auto? I mean, it's like a friggin' bolter rifle from 40k, isn't it? Just fires miniaturized rockets fully automatically. Knowing that these can now give us like health upgrades though, if we're getting hit less. Oh, it's hurting me each time to be picking them up, knowing that now. Oh. I don't know if that's correct, because I'm sure when I've been finding these on the floor, I don't think that when you have full health they become upgrades. Because I've found some on the floor when I've got full health, and it didn't give me an upgrade. I'm trying to think back now, anecdotally, back to when I found them. Also, there's a floating health thing on the map here. Where on earth is that? Ah. Finding more and more of those barriers. Oh, it's it's this, but harder now. Now. No, we've got it. No. Damn. Well, we'll try again. Before we do, let's see what we can find. Another tip if you're playing this, don't just rush out of this first area. Remember, all these pods and things can actually give you bonuses. They can drop items. I think as far as I know, it's like they can drop obolites, so you can get currency. Why is this on the... some kind of secret bit? Well, I think it's just probably somewhere on the map that they've not quite fully covered up for me, but okay. But yeah, they can give you they can give you obolites, but also they can give you, as we've seen, just health upgrades and items and things. It's usually malignant though, so whatever you're gonna pick up from them, it's usually infected. Not all. Well, yeah, I think it is always. I think always it is. Sometimes we're like that, you just get a bit of money. Let's see what we get. Melee kills repair integrity. Dash cooldown reduced. Lasts for 15 seconds. I don't know if that was fully worth it, but that's our starting item. And we are half an hour in, so I think we can cut this there and we'll begin with a new run next time. Right, I'll see you then.